So we'd like to say a very big good evening to all our viewers who are going to be watching us. And I just want to say this is the Spotlight Show with myself, DJ Kwasanti from the UK, and I've got my man on the other side of the globe.
Yes. DJ Quakes all the way in the DMV, Maryland, USA.
That's right. And we've got our special guest, the lady, the sweet and beautiful lady who all ladies in the music industry look up to her as a mother figure. They respect her so much, and so do we as music lovers and music players. We've got Stephanie Benson to have a very nice conversation with us today. And when I talk about Stephanie Benson, there's a lot that I can say. I know people know her to be a very good musician, an outspoken person. I don't want to add this, but it looks as if I've heard from somewhere that a bit controversial. I don't know about that. We're going to be finding out that from her as well today. So without wasting much time, I'll officially welcome you to the Spotlight. Stephanie Benson is our guest tonight. Stephanie, how are you doing today?
I'm good, and thank you very much. Now, well, when you say musician, you have to be very careful because I'm a true musician. I've always been. You guys sometimes don't do your research, sweetheart. I've been playing almost every instrument since I was 3 years old. So wow. I know everything there is to know about music. So I'm saying, yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's real good to know because now we know you're not just a musician. You're all around. You're everywhere. You play.
A true artist.
You're a proper artist. That's nice. That's nice to know. Well, just to kick off, I would like you to just tell us a bit about yourself, and then we can start our conversation with that. So if you don't mind, just tell us a quick, brief description about yourself.
Well, everybody knows my name is Stephanie. I'm a singer-songwriter. Been in the industry for over 27 years, maybe even longer. I was signed to my first record label very early on. It must have been like 19 or 20. And yes, and I used to play at piano bars in London. And when I got signed, I was releasing pop tracks for a very long time. For I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. I was signed for a development deal with Stockade and Waterman, PWL, for 2 years. And then I started obviously becoming a recording artist. Left the company. I mean, it's a long story. My story is long. So which part do you want to hear? I'm not sure.
Wow. Yeah. As we go along, we'll definitely be looking up to some of the things that is going to come up in your music career from when you started to this day and how it's been like the ups and downs that you've been through. And also, as we speak today, what you think is not right in the music industry and what we can do to make it right. So telling us what we've just heard from you, I would like to just ask this quick one. I know you're a family woman, and let me ask you, how do you combine your family work to that of the music industry, the artistry thing that you do? How do you combine the two?
Well, it's sort of never been easy because I had 3 children under the age of 25. Obviously, I was married at 21. I used to do a lot of shows with my children. I used to travel a lot, when I was a recording artist with my children because, when you're signed to a label, you have to do as you're told. And as a mother, I couldn't let being a mother being a reason why I couldn't go on tour. So I would go on tour with my children and have to deal with it. So I've always been able to juggle being a mother, a wife, and an artist since the age of 22. So for that reason, I sort of, it comes easy to me to manage it. Obviously, when the kids went to school, it got a little harder, and then I had to take a break, a very long break, in fact. And then went back again, got signed to another label called Pandemonium, and brought out quite a few tracks. But unfortunately for me, when I was starting out, my name wasn't Stephanie Benson. It was another name. But when I left the record label, because I left, because they wanted me to do a certain type of genre, and I didn't really want to do it. So I walked, and they were very upset. So I couldn't use my name anymore, the name that I was signed to. And so I pretty much let go of that person and went on as Stephanie Benson.
Wow. So if I may ask, what was this person that used to be who she is, and then all of a sudden somebody have to let you just put that aside?
Well, sorry, yeah, I was trying to tell my daughter not to keep walking behind us. You know, I'm so sorry.
No, yeah, I was just asking, what was this person before Stephanie Benson that left herself and then now became Stephanie Benson?
You mean the person who was the artist before?
Yeah.
Well, that person is not here anymore.
I guess the question is, why did you feel the need to go from that artist to Stephanie Benson?
Because that artist was a pop artist. I was very lucky. I had a few hits, and as a pop artist, let's put it this way, I was very young. Mm-hmm. So when I signed, I did what I was told to do. Mm-hmm. And the recording company was predominantly a pop artist. They had signed people like Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan and all those people. They were all signed to that particular label. So and Pete Waterman was was a pop artist, dance pop. I'm sure you all remember him. And I'm not sure about you in America, but then the UK ones would know who Pete Waterman was. And I think what happened was, because I was young, I went along with it. I was signed to an 18-year contract, which, again, being a young artist, I did not read between the lines. So I realized that the 18-year contract spaced out the album deals. So it's like one album will probably take like 3 years to produce. Yeah. So and you have 2 singles in between every album to release before the album, and then and pretty much it was an 18-year contract. It was the worst contract anybody could ever sign.
Wow.
You're pretty much sold to that person. And I have to say, Pete Waterman was an amazing person. He was in no way a dictator, but he was controlling, but he was just such a really amazing person. But it's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I didn't want to do pop. I mean, I was a musician, I played the piano and whatnot, and I really loved R&B and jazz music. But when I was signed, they did tell me, my management said that, I would be able to do what I like doing later on. But that didn't happen after 3 years. So I just asked and begged, and they said no. I had to stick to pop because that's what I was good at doing, and that's how they were selling me. So I just had to walk, and I walked unceremoniously. I mean, it was more like, I don't need you, I'm going. And I just walked away, and it wasn't really, they weren't happy with that. So they said that, if I was going to walk that way, then they're erasing me. I was not entitled to anything. And at that time, I thought, okay, fine, take it. It's okay. I was never I was always about music. So it didn't really matter to me. And I walked away. Yeah.
Yeah, Stephanie, with this, that story that you just given us, I would want to ask a question that should have come up later, because we're going to be dealing with issues like that later on. But then I want to find out with you, during that time, from what we've just learned from you, it was a contract that you signed for 18 years. You did the first 3 years, you thought it was not working the way you wanted it to work, so you have to leave. My question is, did you actually have any issues with the record label, or they just like, okay, if you're not going to do it, okay, you can go your way and then that's it? Because we all know a contract is a contract. So when you sign a contract and you don't honor your side of it, it can lead you to, court cases, court issues, and stuff like that. How did that go? Was it just a free way of doing things? You had the opportunity to go, and then that's it. Nothing happened afterwards.
Well, I mean, the what happened was, and afterwards was, I could never use my name that I was given when I was signed to the label. So I could never sing any of the songs that were good, were top 20s. So I can't sing it. I was not entitled to anything. All my images were pretty much erased. So, I mean, you can find the odd one here and there. Actually one time went on eBay and I saw somebody selling one of my singles a long time ago, and I did laugh actually. But I personally did not have any entitlement to anything. I couldn't go on a TV station and say, hey, my name was Princess, or whatever. And it's just, I wasn't allowed to do that. So, yeah, and I was okay with that. I just, obviously I made a mistake. I left because I didn't want to be doing pop anymore. And,
right.
and I left. It wasn't the right thing to do, but at that time it felt right, and that was it for me. I mean, I can be like that. If something's not working for me, I don't stay in it. I'm not one of those people that need the food so much that I stay in a situation because it was going to make me a superstar. It wasn't really very important to me. What I love doing is what I wanted to do, and they weren't going to honor that, so I left.
So,
Wow.
Quick follow-up with the
All right.
contracting part, because you mentioned, how you felt it was the worst contract ever. I'm sure, at the time, I want to understand what made you sign that contract, and what is different then from the new contract that you have now, and as far as advice to up-and-coming artists in terms of signing contracts, based on your experience, what would you say about signing, these record label contracts?
I think it's very important that you read, but you see, let me tell you why I signed that contract.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I signed that contract is, what worked for me with that contract was the 2-year development deal. That is, with every contract with any record label, they should allow you to have a development process. Every artist has to go through a development process, like learning your craft, learning about what you're about to do, how to conduct yourself during interviews, how to present yourself, who you actually are, your identity, how they're going to sell you, and how you become one with that identity. All of that process is vital for any artist. And I think nowadays that doesn't happen. My daughter actually was signed to Warner Brothers. She was in one of the biggest girl bands, and I'm sure the guys in the UK, actually worldwide, in fact, will also know, Stussy. Now, my daughter, when she was signed to Warner Brothers just a few years ago, they had a 2-year development contract. Their manager was exceptional, so she put her heart and soul into developing them. So every day they were rehearsing, every day their art, every movement on stage was perfected. And that's what every artist needs to go through. So even at the age of 20, when I saw that contract, for me, when I saw the development, that was important because you're still young. You need to know who you are. If you want to figure out what makes it tick musically. And if you find a record company that really can develop that, that's important. That's amazing. That's why we have some artists who are interviewed and they don't understand when they ask them, and so who are you? And then they go, who the f do you think I am? It's like,
Right.
They don't understand what an artist is. You have to know, you have to be equipped to know how to be able to present yourself. And that's why I signed the contract. And I think everything else really became a byproduct of my naivety, really. I was a little bit naive, and I thought this was going to be the best place for me. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But I got the development part, and that was good.
So Stephanie, Kwasanti, if you don't mind me following up, some people can say that, honoring your contract or at least for the terms that was predetermined or that was agreed. If you don't do that, that's unprofessional. I hear what you're saying, and I also get it from your side. So I guess where is the right balance between being professional and on saying doing what you say, what you commit to, versus being true to yourself and your soul, and just following your passion if a contract is not working out for you?
Well, you see, going into a contract, yes, and walking out of a contract is very unprofessional. But that's totally different to making a mistake in signing a contract that does not work for you. Now, in the sense of being signed, it was a terrible contract. Now, I've given you all the dynamics as to it was an 18-year contract. People grow and change in 18 years. You can't tie them to doing one particular genre. They have to be able to flex a little bit. You have to understand that in that time, in those years back, it was a very different musical journey to now. Now people are a little wiser. They have the diversity of different songs and whatnot. But then it was very different. I mean, music at that time was differently presented. So yes, we made mistakes. A lot of them stayed in their contracts because they didn't have a choice.
Right.
I wasn't one of those people. Yes, it may have been unprofessional, but as far as I'm concerned, people have choices. Now, I was able to deal with the consequences, and the consequences was I couldn't use my name. And for me, that was fine. They didn't take me to court because there was no reason to. I relinquished everything. And for that reason, that was fine. Now, relinquishing it wasn't enough for them, and then I just walked. So I paid the price for walking away. It's not like I walked away and I took millions with me or anything like that. It was walking away and saying, listen, you have the rights to whatever, I'm leaving. And that's fine. And they were happy with that. And I just had to live with it. And I had to start all over again. And funny enough, Stephanie, Benson did really well. So it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't the best situation, but yes, it was unprofessional to walk away, but the contract was just not a good one.
Right. Makes all the sense in the world. I mean, I could also say it is professional because it's not like you just walked away without talking to nobody. You kind of understood the price that you had to pay and you're prepared for that. And it seems like you kind of had an agreement with the record label as to how that was going to pan out. And so I understand that. Asante.
Yeah, Stephanie, I'm really enjoying myself. I've just forgotten about myself that I'm even part of the host because the conversation is going very well as expected. Yeah, so we're still in the time of getting to know you well and what you've done. The question that I wanted to ask now is the previous record label that you worked with. I knew you did a couple of songs with them that you don't have the privilege to do it on stage now or sing it anywhere or have any profit on top of them and stuff like that. But is it okay we can discuss some of the tracks that you did back in the days? Or you're not allowed to mention them at all?
Oh no, it's not like I'm not allowed to mention it. Right now, it's not a part of my life, so I really don't talk about it anymore. You have to understand it's been, how old am I now? I'm 53, and I was 23 or 24 when I left, so we're talking at least 29 years. I haven't been that person, the princess, for a long time. So it's not a part of me anymore. So I think it just, it's by the by. I don't talk about it, and it just really doesn't mean anything. I could tell you about one of the songs that I did, which was absolutely amazing. Now is the right time to be making love. But that was one of the songs that we did. It's a dance track. It was in all the discos everywhere at that time.
Wow, that's nice. Now is the right time to be making love. Oh, I love that. All right. Mentioning your age at 53, now I've just got this, which is actually circulating around. You're captured at being born in 1967, and there is another a place where you've been captured as being born in 1970. So I was a bit confused. I was like, hold on, is there an issue with people writing what they don't know, or like normal people do? We've got football age and normal age. Which one? Which one is it?
I have never done football age. I've always been very honest about my age. Never. I mean, I have a daughter who's the oldest one is 30. I mean, why would I need to hide my age? Like, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
I don't know who did who put that there. I have to be. I have no idea where that 1970 came from. I think it was on Wikipedia, but I'm not the one who did Wikipedia, so I don't know why it was there. And I think somebody changed it. I don't look at Wikipedia. You see, I think everybody forgets that a long time ago, we didn't have social media. We, you know, when we did videos and interviews and Top of the Pops and all of that, we don't keep them. You know, it wasn't like you left it and somebody said, "Here's your CD." You know, it just didn't happen that way. So I still have some DAT machine, you know, like the DAT cassette tapes. I know, well, you guys are too young, but that little DAT that recorded videos of interviews and stuff, I have them lying around. I have loads of them. And I'm sure those contain some of the things I've done previously, but I don't look at them. I mean, it's just like all there. But we did have this where you can do something and straight away is on social media and everybody gets to know who you are. So there's a whole generation, maybe a few decades, who have no idea who people like, you know, me were. And for me, sort of, that's okay. I mean, that's Kim Mazel. I'm sure you guys know Kim Mazel because she's been on TV subsequent to that. She's been struggling to find even some of the Pope's performance. And Kim Mazel is huge. You guys know Kim Mazel, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's hidden. There's Kelly LaRock. There's all of my friends from way back. And, you know, and these are my guys who are, but nobody knows them nowadays. And it's so sad. And these guys are like, they were the big voices of all time. So unless you're like Kylie Minogue, who has sort of moved on worldwide and kept singing, then when you're at somebody like me who did really well at one point and then stopped to have babies, then it's like, oh, okay, so who are you then?
Right.
But the thing is, I'm one of those people that I don't let those things affect me. You either get to know me as I am now, and respect me as I am now, or you don't. And if you don't, fine, be on your way. But I don't feel like I need to go around saying, do you know who I am? Do you remember what I used to do? It's not important.
Right.
All right. So going forward with the social media thing, I think we've known you for now. You've said a lot about yourself, and we're just about 20 minutes into the interview, and we want to move on to what people are saying out there, which is the social media side of things. There was this story about you donating to NAFTI and then taking back your donation. Can you throw some lights on it as to why you have to donate something to an entity and then go back for it?
Okay, this is so funny. I went to Ghana to do a show, and I realized that the industry there is lacking in a whole bunch of things. I mean, in the sense that there was nowhere any artist could go to develop, to learn their craft. I noticed that a lot of the female singers who went out and performed, they really just didn't know their art. Yeah, they're just on the stage copying everybody else. Everybody was copying everybody. Musically, everybody was like, you know, like, what is somebody doing that's working on stage? Let's do the same thing. You know, there was no individuality. So when I went, I thought then, okay, let me affiliate myself with an established entity, which was NAFTI. They were doing film, I think, tutoring film and whatnot. I don't think music was one of the agendas. So I went to them and I said, listen, I want to start a school. I don't live here permanently. I want somewhere where I can set up, be a part of you, and then maybe we can build into having some teachers. And I was happy to fund all that. So I was going to fund tutors and bring them in for the musical side of your school. And all I want from you is a premises that I could set up in and bring all my musical equipment. And I spent maybe almost 100 grand buying equipment, like, you know, studio equipment, everything, name it. I had almost everything coming in containers after we had this conversation. So they said, yes, of course, come and join us. You know, we'll give you this block, blah, blah, blah. We had a whole nice conversation, you know, and we shook hands. And I said, okay, now, just to let you see how, you know, serious I am, I'm going to buy you guys some equipment. So I came back to the UK and I bought like cameras and tripods and name it, lighting and whatnot. And I said, hi, this is just a gesture of good faith. And then 2 months later, I kept ringing, do we have the premises ready? Tomorrow, today. 6 months, or we're waiting for a board to get together, or we're waiting for them to make a decision. We're waiting for them to do this. And, you know, I'm not a very patient person. I had equipment sitting around. I was waiting for them to sign on the dotted line, and I just didn't want to be messed around. So I said, okay, listen, you've reneged on your, you've gone back on your word. I'm not waiting 6 months later for you guys to make a decision whether I'm coming or you're going to make this happen or not. So as you didn't honor your side, I'm taking my equipment. It's that simple.
Yeah, so let me be clear here. Was the equipment donated to them or was still waiting for it to be given to them? Like, can you just clear that up?
I give it to them. So with them because we shook on an idea of what we both wanted. I wanted premises to start a music school.
Wow.
And it was a sign of faith for the contract to be honored. They did not honor my part of the bargain, so I took my equipment. I just think it's that simple.
Okay, so this is the part that I said. I didn't want to explain myself by saying, oh, people perceive it to be a bit controversial, but you know, as we continue with our conversation, we're definitely going to know whether she is or not. All right, so to another tweet that I chanced on from your page, it says,
I believe in people not unable to say. I mean, we all sort of, you know, this is a big entity. You know, NAPTI is really quite well respected, and maybe that contract may have been honored at some point. I mean, maybe, I don't know, but 6 months later was too long for me. I wasn't going to hang around. I had all this equipment sitting in containers, and I needed a place to put them. So I needed a contract in place. And you can't just keep saying today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. Ghana kind of today, tomorrow doesn't work for me. I'm not the today, tomorrow person. You're going to do it, you're not going to do it, fine. If you're not going to do it, okay, let me go. But why should I give you at least $30,000 worth of equipment and then for nothing? It doesn't work that way. No.
wow, that's great. So still on social media, this is coming from your page on Twitter. It says a true artist need no label, no title, just a stage and imagination. Why do you think a true artist does not need a record label?
I didn't say record label. Did anybody read record label there?
Yeah, that is actually was captured on. We're dealing with social media trends and issues like that. So it's an issue of whether that's what you said or not, because people are always going to be putting words into people's mouth just to make something out of it. So I think it might be just as you said it, or there has been a little twist about it. But what it says is, you saying the true artists need no labels or record labels, no titles, just imagination.
You have to read exactly what I said. This you have to, because then that will explain to you exactly what I meant. And in that whole statement, now the whole statement was under me doing a performance. I was doing some covers, and I can't remember where I was doing that performance. And I was doing a lot of covers. I was doing songs like Happy and Ain't Nobody and whatnot. And underneath it was that statement. And that statement had nowhere in it record. Nowhere. There wasn't one part of it that said record. So when let me put it on you because I can't see it. Yeah. So when I read that they said Stephanie Benson's record label, I was thinking, huh? Where did I see a record? It's like, it's a record. I just had labels or titles. Now, what that meant was labeling people. Don't give people titles and labels when all they want is a stage and just to perform. It was that simple. Mm-hmm. It was a simple statement about labeling people. So, because there's so many people who come to me and say, Steph, I want to be an artist, but I want to go into rapping because it'll make me famous or give me a name. And I'm thinking, what the hell? What do you know about? What do you have to say? What do you want to contribute into music? You don't go into just being a rapper just because somebody is making money. You don't know how they got there.
Right.
And that's what I was trying to say. I was just saying that let's not label our artists. Let's just let them be artists. It's like let people just give them a stage and they'll show you what they have, what they can offer you. So they don't need to have a title. They don't need to have a label for you to enjoy their music. And then people said record label. I never said record label.
And that moves me to so now at least it's clear. It's just about the record. It's not about the record label, but people just don't need the label.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. You see, sometimes as an artist, sometimes artists can go into when you first go into music, a bit like when I was signed to a label. I went in there doing pop, yeah. And as time went on, I realized I like jazz and what's it called, jazz R&B. Now, I wanted to go into jazz R&B, but my label saying no, you can't do it because I've been labeled a pop an artist, so I can't do what I really want to do. That's what I meant by labeling or giving people a title. Mm-hmm. It's just the freedom to express how you want to express music. That's all. Some people will just be happy with what they're doing. They'll be happy with just doing maybe dancehall, or they'll be happy with doing R&B or maybe doing gospel. But I'm saying that when you're two artists, you evolve. Your whole everything about you evolves. Sometimes you get turned into doing gospel because you've been inspired by something. When we all go through something, we write according to how we're feeling. But if you put a label on somebody, it's hard for them to diversify, to express how they really feel through music or through different genres. That's all. And
right. Let me do a quick follow-up over there. So, Stephanie, I have to say I really admire your passion and just your pure love for the arts. When I was learning about you, the thing that kept coming up from both what I read and from what people were telling me was controversial. That's the popular word, controversial. Mm-hmm. And when I talk to you, right, it's like the things that you say actually do make a lot of sense. And so why do you feel like, that people are labeling you, since we're talking about labels, you have that label of being controversial? Is it an issue of being misunderstood? Is it an issue of miscommunication? What do you think is the thing that is causing that label for Stephanie?
I think they're intentionally misunderstanding me. it's easier to intentionally misunderstand me than actually get what I'm saying. Because, I mean, you guys are obviously very bright, but, and, you know your business, you probably have businesses, so you understand. And then there must be at least 40% of the people in Ghana are also intellects. They do know what I'm saying. They just like intentionally trying to misguide people as to what I'm trying to say. Maybe for headlines, who knows? To be honest, I try not to really analyze how they think, because it just isn't important anymore, because I feel like people are going to put you in a pocket because that's what makes them comfortable. I don't know. It's just I really just think it's more comfortable for them to misunderstand me than it is to actually understand what I'm actually trying to say. But then again, I do joke around a lot, so maybe they don't know when I'm being serious and when I'm not. So,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hurt you more than it's helped you, or you just don't care about it? How do you think that label has affected your career as an artist?
Oh, my career as an artist is not starts in Ghana, and it's not going to end in Ghana. Heavens. Ghana is only like, I don't know, like 2% of what I do and what I've done. I mean, I sing for some ridiculous stars, and I've sang for Prince Charles like many occasions. I've worked with people like Stevie Wonder. I write for so many amazing people. You think they're gonna stop asking me to write for them, or even we'll be friends, or even sing for Prince Charles just because Ghanaians are saying that I'm controversial? No.
Oh, so are you saying the controversial label is only when it comes to the Ghanaian community? It's not, you don't have that label in other communities?
I don't have that label at all here.
Okay.
Do I? Only in the Ghanaian community, but
I see.
Only the Ghanaian community here. But when you say controversial, maybe here they will say controversial because I am quite explicit on stage. So, I mean, let's put it this way. I did a gig for Prince Charles, and I got off the stage and went to sit on his lap. So that could be controversial,
Okay.
So Stephanie is very cheeky. They know me as very cheeky. I walk around. It's been part of my act since I was 20-something years old. And when I left the big record label, I used to, I did a lot of big shows. I think I was one of the very first artists ever on London Fashion Week to sing. In Birmingham, the big shows for 250,000 people. I was actually one of the first three to ever sing. And then as time went on, they used to have a big artist perform on it on the stage. But Linford Christie was the guy I walked on that stage with, and I did a song, my song Friends. You guys might know it. And I remember walking on that stage with Linford Christie and singing that song on London Fashion Week for 250,000 people. So, and even then, I was messing with Linford Christie on the stage, and I was like playing with him while I was singing my song. So I've always been that kind of extrovert. So yeah, I suppose here they say, oh, that Stephanie Benson, oh, wow, like she's, here they understand that kind of act. Ghana, they'll say, oh, she's controversial. Look at her, look at what she's doing. But over here, just, what I mean?
It sounds
It's
to
like
me, from the theme that keeps coming up, even from this conversation, for me, is how bold you are, right? Sitting, who has the balls to sit on Prince Charles's lap? That's very bold. That's like that's like and even having the balls to get out of your contract, right? A lot of people will not even have the confidence to, let alone the balls to go back to the record label and say, I want to leave. So and we did touch on Ghana. I want to understand your evolution, as an artist and as a person, from when you were in Ghana to when you came to the UK. what do you think has been the biggest change? And I know that, do you think you when you make your music, do you have Ghana in mind, or are you making music for the world?
Oh no, I think a lot of the songs that I've been doing lately have really just been for Ghana. Only because I've concentrating on doing performances. I was doing a lot of theater shows. So not actually releasing songs here at all. My last hit here was 2011 with a song called Hanging On. It was a dance track. Actually, let me just say something before I continue. You know, remember I said that I wanted to change and do pop R&B, and Waterman was saying I should be doing pop.
Right.
When I left, I did do R&B, jazz, and signed to another label. And funny enough, he was right in the sense that vocally I was not ready to be an R&B artist. There was no question. Vocally, the R&B, art of R&B was being done so beautifully in America. And he had the insight to understand that, but I didn't. I just really wanted to roll. So not that pop was what I wanted to do, but what he wanted me to be was a star, a mega star in what I was doing. Wanting to do R&B was not where my voice was at. It just wasn't developed or good enough to compete. So he didn't really want me to go there. You understand what I'm saying? So he was right. When I did it, I had a hit with Kayo doing Natural Mystic in, I think 2007 or something. And that was my biggest jazz hit. And that did amazingly well. It was in the jazz charts for I think maybe 6 or 8 weeks. And then I went on then to start writing for different people. We were for so many different artists. And I always ended up going back to dance music. It's so funny. I ended up going to dance music. And all my dance songs that I released in the charts, even without promotion, never did videos for them. They went out there. They were top 10 in Sweden, all over. I mean, and 2011, my biggest one was Hanging On. That was, I think, number 5 in the world charts. So, yeah. So I think I went straight back to what I was doing before, which is a little crazy, really. Yeah.
Right.
And so I've always. Sorry, you were saying?
No, go ahead.
No, so where we I think we're talking about dance music, right? Or we're talking about
Right. I was asking whether when you make your music, whether you think whether you have Ghana as an audience or whether you have a more universal audience in mind.
Well, since 2011, I haven't released myself personally anything here. I've been concentrating on songwriting for different people. And when they sign a new label, they usually come to me for lyrics. So I would spend more time writing lyrics and sending them out. And that's what I've been concentrating on doing. And then I'll tell you also one of the reasons why I stopped releasing songs was that my daughter was signed to Warner Brothers. And I didn't want it to seem like I was competing. So I pulled myself out of the music a little bit. Just, it's like it was my daughter. I wanted to be there and 100%, with my daughter instead of, putting something out and it seems like, you're competing with your daughter. It's not who I am.
Right.
And so I just took a step back and I just started releasing in Ghana. Just really, because I think they didn't even know me. A lot of people didn't even know I was Ghanaian. And when I went there to do a performance, I realized that. And I thought, oh, wow, that's a shame. And then I thought, okay, let me put something out there. But I didn't want to go in there and say, look at me. Look at all the videos. Look what I've done. Look who I am. Right. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be accepted doing the hard work like everybody else. I want to come in there and just put songs out, Hopefully they like it. Hopefully they don't like it. If they don't like it, it's fine. But I
Right.
wanted to do the hard rock, you know,
Right.
and
Right.
not just throw it out there. You know, I've never been that kind of person. I don't know how to show off. It's not in my character. So
Which
I
is
went in there.
yeah, which is quite
Sorry.
admirable, you know. Again, very, very, very ballsy, very, you know, bold of you to say, you know what, I have this, you know, I have this thriving career over here, but you know, I'm going to explore the, you know, Ghana music industry, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the difficult route, you know, in essence, right? So, I guess for me, you know, because I want to take the conversation to the Ghana music industry. For me, I want to understand, you know, you're here now doing music and hoping that you know Ghana will accept it. First, my question is, do you think it was well accepted? And what are your biggest, I guess, challenges as it, you know, in the Ghana music industry as it compares to you know the UK space?
Well, the UK space is always hard. I'm lucky. I have I started early and have a little way in, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so it's easier for me to maneuver in it because I've always been in it. And although I always have one leg in, one leg out, you know, you can always, because I'm sort of really well respected in the industry. It's like even when they signed my daughter, I had a call from somebody who knew me and said, "Hey, we have a young lady here. She's saying that she's your daughter." And really? And then so they always sort of, you know, respect me in that way. I mean, not be releasing songs here, but they know of me and you know, and I think that's really nice for me.
Mm.
So I think releasing songs in Ghana was just something I wanted to do just for the hell of it. Now, I
Mm.
didn't really mind whether they accepted me or they didn't accept me.
Mm.
I really just put it out there just to see how they would respond.
Mm.
My first track was Good, which was so different to anything anybody was doing. It was like sort of pop R&B kind of track, and they were so confused. But I did that intentionally. I could have gone in, and if I wanted to be famous, and you know it's easy enough, you go and attach yourself to somebody with a big name,
Mm.
and then release a track. Everybody knows you. That's the
Right.
usual pathway
Right.
to doing it in Ghana. And everybody will say, "Oh, why don't you go and do a song with um, the big names of the time?" I think those people were like, "I know, God, I'm terrible with names." I think the rapper, for instance, oh Lord, brain failure. And Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, he at that time was known, and there was another guy I forget who was also really known. So people were saying, "Oh, why don't you do a track with them?" And I'm saying, "No, and not for any reason. It's just if I do that, it's a cop out. I want them
Mm.
to understand, you know, who I am
Mm.
first."
Mm.
And and I put good feeling out and goodbye, and it was like, you know, it was like they were thinking, who the hell is this woman? But and I laughed about that. And then I put a song out called Solimu. It was like, you know, it was a tree song. I'm useless at writing tree, by the way. I have to be honest. I'm not
Mm.
really right.
Mm.
And the song is a nice song. And it was, you know, I think they got to know me and not the fact that I was a singer because
Mm.
my mouth, manohame sometimes.
Mm.
So because I'm open and I speak, you know, my truth, that became more known than my music.
I see.
Um, and and I was thinking, what the hell? But I didn't intentionally go in there to be bold in speaking. It's just who I am.
Mm.
I can't help it. I just speak and for some reason somebody finds some headline in it. I mean, I don't get it.
Right. So
I
sorry. So that's interesting. Um, I'm thinking about you know your approach about how you want to you know go into the Ghana space, and you know you know one can call it very bold, somebody else can call it very naive. You know, if you think about it, you know, you probably know more about the music industry than I do. But music, you know, there's the talent part, and also there's the business side of things, right? And going into a new industry, you probably have to, like you say, you have to know maybe a few artists, but also you have to understand, you know, the distribution system, you know, a few radio stations, you know, the proper promotional channels and marketing channels in Ghana, you know, and how you can put your music through those channels in order to be known. And so, you know, did you, when you go into Ghana, did you think I'm going to do it on my own because I have that engine and I can just replicate that in Ghana? Or were you more like, you know, testing the waters? Let me put the song out there and see how people respond.
Yeah, it was a bit of both. I knew from here for a very short time. Let me put it this way. When I went, and after it didn't work with NAFTI, I set up my own school of performing art. So I set up a small one in a place. So I rented a little place. Well, it wasn't little, it was huge. And I put all the equipment in there, and you know, and there was a scholarship for only young ladies. And I wanted to groom them to be creme de la creme for the female artists in Ghana. So while I was doing that, I was thinking, okay, if I built a little bit of a profile for myself in Ghana, then it would help the girls later on. So when they're moving on, you know, then people know Stephanie Benson is a singer. They may not know my full background, but it didn't matter. Just enough that, you know, music was something I did really well. And so I spoke a lot about the fact that I studied music and whatnot. Didn't speak much of my accomplishments outside of that, but just stuck to that. So they all thought that I was some person who wanted to come in and be famous. It wasn't about that. It was really about the girls. So I put it out there. Of course, I knew in Ghana, when you go in there, music will not make you money. Well, at least not the kind of money I make over here. So I knew that. I was very aware that going into it, there was no way I was going to be making money. Or what I call money. What they call money is another thing altogether. But what I call money is not what I was going to be there. And even every bit of finance that came from Ghana as to maybe the odd gigs went straight back into the school to fund the girls. The girls didn't pay 1 penny. They all came in free. And, you know, sometimes when they come in, you have to sort of help them with their households, because a lot of them didn't have much money, you know, like outside of coming to school. You know, it's like maybe going home, the parents couldn't afford to keep, you know, so you have to support the household. So everything I was earning was going back into my girls. So I really didn't really go in there to make money. There's no money to be made, you know, outside. That's why a lot of the artists over there so badly want to win awards outside of Ghana, just so they can cross over and come. And I don't blame them. Because Ghana itself, besides being a front man for a branding person, like, you know, for MTN or anyone where they can give you some money, you know, it's only now that the shows are paying a lot more for some of the bigger artists. But before, there wasn't much for them. And that's the true fact of it. And that's what I want a lot of the artists to come out and enlighten those artists who are coming up. That it's not that easy. It's really tough. You see, so the licenses, none of that is in place. You know that. There's nothing in place. What is in place? You know, the songs will get played and nothing is charted. So nobody gets to know what you're making, you know. So it's just so sad. And I've seen some of my girls now, and they started bringing songs out, and they're struggling, and they're all female. And, you know, as much as I want to help them, I refuse to go and pay any DJs any amount of money to play any songs. I won't do it. I didn't do it for myself. I'm not going to do it for them. I just think it's ridiculous. If you're going to pay somebody, fine. Surprise, the music is charted and they get some money back. There's no royalties, no nothing. They're paying you for nothing, and you're not actually doing the right thing. So how are they supposed to make any money? So all you're doing is taking, and you're playing the song, and all they're going to be is famous. That's all.
But Stephanie, some can argue that somebody can argue that there are artists in Ghana that are actually making money. And so, you know, they're probably doing something. Hello?
Now they are because it's, you know, people are using them for branding and whatnot. And when you say money, you're talking about money as in selling their songs, or are we talking about as in branding? Money as in selling the songs, is that what you're talking about now?
Well, I mean, I'm sure money comes in many forms in the space, right? Whether it's music sales or endorsements, or whatnot.
No, if we're going to separate how musicians make money, then we have to separate it totally. We're talking about branding, or we're talking about their music sales.
Both. I'm talking about both.
No, okay, if we're talking about both, then maybe they're making money. I'm talking about when it comes to music, making money from
music sales.
Itself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about your persona. Not every artist is maybe looks good enough or is the right person for any kind of branding, or it can think of something. Not every artist. You know, some artists are a little different, so they may not fit into the mold of being a branding ambassador for and make money that way. They can probably only make money from being a musician. So if we separate the two in Ghana, no, not sales outside, in Ghana, what kind of money are they making?
So
because
hold on. Let me make sure I understand this. You do not think there's one artist in Ghana that is making money purely on music sales and performances?
Purely on music sales? No, okay. Now this is why I said there's making money and there's making money. Right. Now you're talking about doing shows, right? And music sales in Ghana. I'm talking about traveling outside of Ghana. I'm talking about in Ghana.
Okay, yeah, in Ghana, yeah.
You can name one person for me who's making money out of pure sales of their music. I'll stand corrected if you can.
I'm not saying I know. I'm just confirming what you're saying, that you do not. What your opinion is, that you do not think that artists in Ghana are making money on music sales. So when I think about how artists make money in general, right? You're right. There's the branding side of things and there's the music side of things. But I put the performance as part of the music side of making money, right? So, you know, because we probably don't have a good distribution system in Ghana. I see why you would think that music sales is not, but you don't think that performance is a genuine music making revenue?
Oh yes, it is. I mean, I make money from just performance. Okay. Like I say, I don't a lot of I make royalties from songs that I sell to recording artists. Yes, that's totally separate. I keep that separate to like performance. My performance, you know. But it's very different. When I say performances, my performances are usually more like cabaret. You know, it's like when you do events and parties, occasionally you'll slip your own songs in there. But it's predominantly doing other people's songs and putting a performance together, doing theater shows with other people's songs. And then in between that, I'll put 2 of my 3 songs. That's the name I've built over here, of course, because my performance is strong. It's I'm talking about Ghana, going out there and doing your own songs, performances. That I'm sure there's loads of shows, but you see, I have to be very careful when I talk like that, because like I say, what I call money and what they call money is very different.
What do you call money? Just curious. What do you call money?
And I'm not going to say, because then there's always somebody who's making even more money than you are. So I don't really like to quote figures, but I just think performances alone is not enough to sustain. You have to understand that with an artist, you know, before you do a performance, you have to buy the clothes. You have to have your entourage, your band, what they wear, how you get there, all the things that, and your rehearsals, all the things that fit into then walking onto a stage. So when you quote your amount, you have to take all of that out before you're making any kind of money.
Right.
Do you understand?
Right.
So yeah. So, and you don't wear the same thing for every performance. So there are other avenues where you have to make money. And the avenues is selling songs, making sure that your songs are out there and people are buying and you're getting the revenue back.
Right.
Predominantly at the bulk of your money, not performances alone.
Right.
That's the bulk of the money.
To follow up with this discussion that we're having now, Stephanie, I want to ask this. Is it okay to say that what an artist puts into their song really matters? The time, the effort, everything that is going to do with it really matters so much so to the point where when you put out a good song out there, you can still make money out of the sales part of this conversation that we're having. Because now we all know that we don't sell CDs, we don't sell cassettes, and all those things are back. That's something that was done back in the days. But then, if not for the branding side, but if you could get like, say now that we're going into an election year, you could put out a song where probably any of these political parties could buy a particular track of yours. It's huge money. And it's part of the sales that we're talking about. So it doesn't mean directly you're selling your CDs out to make 100 million CDs. But sometimes, don't you think the work that you put out there, if it's that good enough, can attract somebody to also, push their money into your work?
No. Well, I think I'm not talking, when I say sales, I'm not talking about walking around with CDs. I'm talking about sales as in every time a DJ plays your song, it's charted. So you get your royalties from that. Every time somebody plays your song in any kind of scenario, in an advert, it's charted. And then you get your money from that.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about, sales. I'm not talking about going out and selling CDs. I'm talking about what comes with when you release a track. You see, because
so in that case, we would say that the system that is being used in Ghana is not actually set up right.
yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about it's not set up, it's not charted. So everybody wants to play your song and your music, the charts to figure out who's playing your song and where, at what time, so you can make your money. It's not in place as it is here, right? And if somebody uses 10 seconds of my song for any advert, instantly there's an alert.
Right.
The system is in place. How it works, I don't know. But then everybody knows at what point somebody's playing a song. I think they're working on it now. Whether it's in place right now, I think there's a few people who are working on it. I know Mark Darlington and Reggie and Billy are working really hard and making that problem go away, just so people will start making some money. And from their songs that they write and release. So wherever it's played, they make some money from it. Because that's how you make money. You put your song out. People forget that when you put money into recording a song, it's a lot of money. You have to pay sometimes a producer. If the producer is not invested in what you're doing, or they don't want to be a part of what you're doing, you just have to pay them to use your studio. And then, and then the music and development, and then putting it on the avenues, making sure it's played, it all costs money. Record companies, well, there are not enough of them in Ghana, but they're the ones who usually pay for all of this kind of thing. But let's just say an artist hasn't got the money. They have to fork out all of that. And then in Ghana, if they don't get anything back from what they put into their efforts of their work, it's so unfair. That's what I'm talking about, not making money. I'm talking about that part of it. But they're doing performances, yes, they'll make some money. But, how much can you make from performances? What you put into performances is also a lot of money.
Right. So quickly, so yeah, I can see how that can be a big, source of frustration for not just you, but artists in general in Ghana. So we know that royalties, collections, the collection system is a challenge. You mentioned something earlier as well. The concept of the popular term payola, where you mentioned you want to pay any DJ to play your song. Everybody knows payola is a. Do you know what the payola is?
Sorry?
Do you know what the payola? They call it payola in Ghana, paying for your music to be played on radio.
Now, I didn't know it had a name, but yeah.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure. So, collection is a problem. It's one challenge that it seems like it's coming out. The payola thing is also a challenge. So, where I'm going is I want to understand, while you were going, trying to penetrate the Ghana music industry, what were your biggest frustrations? I know that you said the system is not well set up for the collections and royalty system yet. But you, as a person, as a female, as somebody coming from the diaspora, what are some of your biggest challenges, and I also want to understand how you were able to navigate those challenges to be the Stephanie Benson that you are today, at least to the Ghanaian audience.
You know what I have going for me is that I love people generally, unless you're okay. Can I say bastard? But you probably edit that out. But and then I won't give you the time of day. And if you come to me directly and ask me for money, I won't even look at you twice, and you'll be struck off my list. You see, but also, this is why I was trying to tell you before. I'm not the perfect advocate for that, because I don't care enough for them to play my song. Because if I give you my song and you want to play it, play it. If I want to thank you, I'll thank you. And which I usually did, because I love people. And if somebody's doing something for you and you know they're doing it from their heart, and they don't come at you and say, give me money, I find myself doing it anyway, because you know they're struggling.
Right.
But if you're talking about some of the young artists out there who are putting songs out, I have 10 female artists who came from my school, and they're struggling. I hear it all the time. And they go to a lot of the DJs and they have a problem, because it's not just the DJs, maybe they go through management or somebody who says they want to manage them. And usually they're leading with sex. And I hear it all the time and I get very upset. And because they know I know some of them, they have to beg me not to call them and say something, because as soon as I do that, that will disable them as artists.
Right.
So yes, there are some guys out there who claim to be managers who are, and they can get their songs played with some DJs who are, not doing the right thing with these young girls. So yes, there's lots of problems happening. It's not just with the DJs, it's with the guys who claim to be managers. They always want to be sleeping with the young girls. And they say, and unless you sleep with them, then we'll get your songs played. And there's this little club that they have. That's some club that they have that only promote the ones that they want to promote, not the ones who are actually talented. It's not really about talent anymore. They don't hear about talents about okay, oh yeah, but my girl, she's like, can you play it? I hear it all the time, and that sickens me. That's what sickens me, because it's that it hasn't become about talent. It's about who you're doing a duet with and who your manager is, friend, and is sleeping with. It's crazy.
Wow.
And
At this point, Stephanie, I'd like to say we've hit the hour mark, and the conversation is still ongoing. I'm really loving and enjoying myself, and I believe you're also sharing a lot of things, a lot of stuff that the public needs to know. And I will crave your indulgence if we can continue with the editing, the conversation. We've actually come to the hour that we promised, but since we've got a lot to talk about, I've got so many questions that I want to ask. I've got a lot that I need to find out from you, and I hope it's going to be okay if we continue with the conversation.
Yeah, you guys have to pay me now. Now I want my people DJs.
From the way you're talking, I don't know if we can afford your kind of money.
I mean, I was expecting that to come anyway. We'll talk about that later on. No problem. Once Big Joe is still there, we'll talk about that later on. Yeah. So there's one other thing that they say you said. I've tried to find out where you said it. I've not been able to see it, but honestly speaking, it's kind of made headlines in Ghana. It's kind of really made headlines in Ghana, which if I would want you to react to it, is the same when you said an artist who shows wealth is lacking what money cannot buy. That's talent and love. So the question is it wrong for an artist who have really been in the industry, made name for himself, gathered a few dollars and CDs and, some pounds to show what they've been able to make out of their talent? Is there anything wrong with that?
And that I did say. That is something I said. Nobody's making anything out. I actually said that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me try and find the simplest way of saying this. We're living in an environment in Ghana where there's a lot of people struggling. And I get hundreds and hundreds of people who reach out and say, I want to be a star. I want to be famous. I want to be whatever. And a lot of them are so deluded because we have some great talent in Ghana, but we do have some really crap ones too who have made it. Now, I also want to, I want to be able to sort of explain where that statement actually came from. See, wealth is relative. There's people who are really, really wealthy. And I think that, I'm not talking about in Ghana, that we've all seen a lot of real wealth. And then we have people who have made money through the hard graft of what they've done. Now, as a developing country, I'm saying that if you've made money, what you want as an artist, what you want to do is educate those people who are wanting to go into the business. How you got there. I'm not saying tell them, but then show some humility. The country is not doing so well, and everybody wants to be an artist, and so many struggling artists out there. Just show some humility and some love, and I don't know, it's just that sense of empathy that should lead instead of wealth. That's what I'm saying. So if you show it too much, everybody thinks it's just too easy to get there. That's all. It's not easy to be an artist. So, leading, so I have this, look at me, I have thousands, I'm making millions. You don't see Beyonce or any of those people who have real worth doing that kind of bullshit. I'm sorry, did I just say bullshit? Can edit it that, right?
No worries.
Well, it doesn't matter. Put that in, because that will represent it.
That's the boldness we're talking about.
You don't see those people doing it. I mean, usually when they are in their private jet landing somewhere on a holiday, it's probably because somebody's caught them doing it. But then you do have some idiots as well in America, because Ghanaians, we tend to model ourselves with America a lot. Everybody wants to be like an American rapper. It's just so sad.
Wow. Stephen, somebody can say, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, people are inspired differently. Somebody can say you can inspire the youth by showing them cash, right? That this is what you can gain if you make it as a musician. Somebody can say you can inspire them through what you say, by showing them, the nuts and bolts and really what the truth is on the ground, and let them follow, the footsteps. So,
yeah, it's not the truth. They can't, what they're showing them is not what they made from music. And that's the truth.
oh, got you.
From music. You and I know that. It's not just music alone. But I mean, as a musician, maybe you made that from different ways, who knows? But I'm just saying, all that wealth does not come from just the music. That's all. It wasn't that easy to get to that point. It wasn't
Right.
that easy. I know how hard it is, and I live here. Let alone Ghana, it's the hardest. Look at this. Look at the same people who keep winning awards. The same people. There's a lot of people coming in who are getting famous. Why is that? Because it's not easy.
Mm.
It's not easy. I don't know what.
Right.
And I'm crying what kind of stuff.
Right?
I'm really enjoying this conversation.
It's not easy.
You're just saying it as it is.
Yeah, otherwise every year we'll have somebody new coming up, and not even just new, like maybe at least 5 or 6 people coming in all the time. But no, every year it's been the same people. Every year it's the same people. We have the odd ones slip in like 2 years later, and that, look at how much we all love Visa. Somehow he just pushed back a little bit. I mean, there aren't a lot. Just name any new artists in the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm. There's not been a lot, but
No.
my issue is, when it comes to artists doing well but not getting seen, would you also want to blame it on the way the system has been structured? Because if an artist is doing well and has not got the backing, doesn't know the DJs, probably there's an artist sitting somewhere back, if you know Ghana very well, sitting somewhere back in, let's say, Sunyani or Brekum, or maybe in the northern regions thereabout, but because he's not having any affiliation with anybody in the music industry in Accra, let me use Accra to be precise. In Accra, it's very, very much difficult for that person to make it to the limelight. Is it something that we have to spread the same kind of attention that we give to what people do in Accra or in the capital cities to the remote areas? Because I believe if me and you would travel from here to Ghana, even if your family is way back, in the village, you go for a visit and you still want to come and live in the capital city. So it's kind of anything that finds its way into the city, gets blown up very easily and quickly. But with that in mind, how do you think we can balance it?
Well, you see, Ghana is a very small place. So I think discovering acts should be really easy. I mean, it should be very, very easy. We have these ridiculous programs and talent programs on TV. And some of the people that they put on, and I hear some of the judges say, "Oh, you're amazing, you're true," and I'm listening, I'm thinking, well, one TV, I can't even what kind of singing you'll ever hear in your life? They sung it off. And so some judges sitting there going, "Oh, this guy, he's amazing." And they say, "Hey, see, sometimes we just can't spot what is real, because we've listened to so much crap that we don't even know what's real anymore." So, because if you're dealing with mediocrity, everything else has to match up to that mediocrity. It doesn't go any higher than that. So if it's close enough, then it's good. But it's not good. And that's why a lot of them are not crossing over, because it isn't.
Stephanie, don't you think you're looking at the talent side alone? Because there's a lot of factors that determine whether someone, kind of becomes popular or not, right? And the talent part should be a big part. I agree. And some, I do hear your point about mediocrity becoming the standard in Ghana now. But like, Kwasanti was saying, it's more on the business side. There's a lot of things that need to happen also. So people don't just, you have to network. You have to have the right proper networks. You have to know which channels to promote yourself and how to promote yourself, how to present yourself. There's the marketing side of it. There's the branding side of it. All of that sort of determine, kind of going to whether somebody is popular or not. So do you think that you're being a little heavy on the talent side?
No, I'm not at all, because that's what I am. It's about talent. The thing is, how you get into the music business, sorry, it's the same everywhere in the world. You know, you have to have everything in place. The record company, somebody knows what they're doing, the selling part, who's going to sell your music. It's the same everywhere. I mean, so we start with that premise that yes, of course, it's no different anywhere in the world. Ghana, here, America, Europe, it's all the same. It's a process. Somebody meets you, they like what you do, the singing is great, you have a great track, they put it out, somebody sells you, there has to be some kind of network that can sell you really well. Yes, I get that. But we're always screaming about talent, but then we're not nurturing that talent in Ghana. That's what I'm saying. There isn't, they're not looking for that great talent. I noticed that some people, there's some niche that are afraid of great talent. When they see Ghanaians, we have this knack of not wanting somebody to really succeed. I mean, look at what's her name, Wayala. I mean, I always call her my baby. That child was done. I mean, she is quite exceptional. Vocally, she's adequate. She's so I'm not saying vocally she's amazing as compared to maybe somebody like Ifia. That's not what she's about. But the thing with her is every corner of her is pure star. She has a good enough voice, and like I say, she's my baby. So I mean, I'm going to lay it out there. She has a good enough voice. It's not amazing. But when that girl steps on that stage, you know that as a star stepped on that stage. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for somebody, that's just talent. That's right there. So I'm not just talking about the voice. I'm talking about the whole thing. So I do agree with you what you're saying. It's the whole thing that sells. Me, I haven't got the greatest voice on this earth, but I think I sold myself because of the whole package.
Right.
So, if I may ask this once more, what would be your advice to an upcoming artist who is trying to make it to the limelight and having all these challenges? And just after this, we have 3 more questions from behind the scenes. So we're going to be calling on Selassie. So Selassie, get ready with your question. So how will you advise a new up-and-coming artist when it comes to preparation-wise, thinking about the business side of what they want to do, and the fame that comes alongside it if they're able to get to that level? What would be your advice to them?
An up-and-coming artist? Well, I just say that you have to learn your art. It's very important that you figure out who it is you are. Learn how to, if it's singing or rapping or poetry or whatever it is, you have to learn the art of music. Now, people like the shortcuts because they want to be famous. So they don't actually learn the art of music. Now, some people just have pure talent, so they can just get on that stage and know what they're doing. But I also say that it doesn't matter whether you have a lot of talent, you still have to nurture that. You still have to practice every day. You still have to be able to get in touch with who you are, what you want to say, what you represent, how you sit, how you pose, how you talk, how you listen. So when you get really comfortable with yourself, when you're in any kind of scenario, you know how to present yourself and you can sell yourself really well anywhere you are, even if you don't speak good English. So you could be in, I don't know, in America, you could be a person who just speaks Ewe and you have some one-on-one English. But how you present yourself anywhere in the world will make you stand out. So you don't have to be, great at communicating a particular language. You can still sell yourself with the confidence that you come with. And that's what I see a lot of the artists don't have. So maybe that's why, I don't know, it's harder for a lot of our artists. Some obviously have penetrated, but a lot of them have not been able to cross over because of the confidence. And so I just think that, the nurturing part is very important. The development part is very, very important. We need to help artists with that, just so we can have a whole new squad of super talented artists coming from Ghana. That is the time. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've heard some amazing rappers and and singers and sometimes it sickens me that they're struggling, and I don't know what I can do because I don't live all the time in Ghana.
Oh, okay. So let me follow up with this question. When it comes to the DJ side of helping artists and promoting the songs and stuff, is there anywhere you've had any challenges with dealing with DJs? Not necessarily with the parallel side of things that you've really touched on that. You're not ready to pay anything. If you give your song to a DJ and you want the DJ to play, if the DJ plays, that's fine. If you want to thank the person, that's up to you. But I am thinking of what exactly you think should be the normal norm for a DJ who is behind the controller to do when it comes to selection of music, making artists who they want to be, helping up and coming artists, and the differences between the artists who are on that level and those underneath. The up and coming ones, the bridge in between them. How can DJs help to bridge that one?
Well, see me, you guys know that I already was a little irritated with you guys before I came on.
I know, that's why I'm asking this question. I know you have an issue with DJs, so let it out. Let's go.
I have major issues with Ghana DJs, and I know not all of you are. You're still Ghanaian, but yeah, I was very reluctant to do this because I just felt like you have to be seen to be doing the right thing to ask me these questions. See, if you guys are not seen to be doing the right things, why are you saying that, you want to change it? You have to change it by starting with you. So when you're coming at somebody, we know that you are already doing the right thing. So that was my problem. And when I say about playing, I do understand that all over the world, people have a roster and they pick the kind of music that's popular and then they have to play accordingly. I understand all that. But I also understand that we're not in those times in Ghana. That's not where we're at right now. Where we're at right now is trying to develop the music industry. So everybody who's trying to develop what's broken really has to do the right thing. So everything I'm saying is not really about what the world, worldwide process is, because they already have it in place. We don't. So bearing that in mind, we always have to be seen to be doing the right thing. And the right thing is, you guys helping the ones who are starting out, to especially I'm talking about starting out who are talented. But then you have to be able to spot talent too. And a lot of them don't know how to spot talent because they've been playing so much crap, they don't even know what's good anymore. That was my gripe. I was just saying that you guys really should be seen to be doing the right thing. And then that way, if you're asking somebody like me to advocate for it, then I'm saying, oh, wow, these guys are doing the right thing. So I'll speak my mind. So yeah, that's why I was a little reluctant. So I'm not excited about a lot of the DJs, at all.
Anybody in particular?
Oh, there's plenty.
We would like to know a few
Just be
names.
curious. Mention a few, 2 or 3.
One that actually plays my song. I mean, DJ Advisor. He's never once for 1 minute asked me for not even 5 pesos ever. You know, ever. I never seen him at a place once and actually even bought me a drink. You know, and that doesn't happen. Usually, Ghana, when you go somewhere, they know that you have money. They go, you know, it's like, oh, Steph, buy me. No, this guy will always buy me a drink. DJ Premier, another one, never asked me for 1 peso, you know, or even £1 or 1 tea. And, you know, he was running around for me. DJ Premier was putting himself out there for me, trying to get even my music played and whatnot. And he always felt awkward when he came back and said, oh, you know, we're going to this place, you know, maybe we have to give him a little something. And then I look at his face, I go, okay, well, whatever, just, you know, and just give it. Yeah, so there's some good ones. But
so those are the ones in your good books, the ones in your bad books.
Oh, really, like I say, I'm not going to, there's one that right now, he was one of my best friends, and unless he calls me to say he's sorry, I'm not going to mention his name. He knows who he is.
Is it? I hope it's not Big Joe.
He's my little brother.
Oh yeah. Wow.
The one, you know, he's on your committee. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can get him on there and come and talk to him. But he was one of my best friends. One of my best friends. But he's just falling into that ridiculous trap. So I'm not even gonna mention his name.
Wow. But Stephanie, I mean, come on, let's be real here. What you know, just because I want people to understand what your expectation is from DJs, right? You know, let me make the argument for DJs, right?
Yeah.
We, in some cases, in some settings, some can say we play what people want to hear. And you know, there are different kinds of DJs, obviously. There's the DJ that's playing on radio who does the popular stuff but also introduces new songs, right? And there's the DJ who goes to do different kinds of private events and stuff like that. And most of the time they are playing what people definitely want to hear, the people that pay them want to hear. So in both cases, DJs have bosses, and whether you're in a radio station where you're working with some type of programming structure, there are certain songs the radio expects you to play, right? And even for the mobile DJ, same thing. The client is the boss, you know. And so, how much flexibility do DJs really have to break new artists, so to speak? So, is your expectation of DJs, you know, almost, you know, maybe maybe a little unrealistic, not too unrealistic, but a little unrealistic?
Well, I started off by saying that I know that DJs have to play what makes other people happy. I said that. I said, in normal circumstances, we all understand what a DJ does. They play songs that people want to hear. I get it. I mean, that's what your job is. When you're playing, you play to what people want to hear.
Right.
And I'm saying that we're not dealing with the normal circumstances and where we're coming from. Hence the fact that we're talking about this, right? It's because you develop something that's broken.
Right.
And it's broken over there. Now, to develop what's broken, you have to be seen to be doing the right thing. It's that is great. And expecting people to embrace that too. And
so
also,
I guess, what's your recommendation? What are you asking DJs to do? Go to our bosses and say we can't.
I'm talking about Ghanaian DJs. So this is about Ghanaian Blackstar and DJ, right? Am I, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Talking about a group of people trying to fix the DJs doing the right thing in a community that's broken. I'm not talking about all DJs. I'm talking about one specific.
Right. So, you're talking about Ghana DJs. Mm-hmm.
They'll say that I'm telling all DJs. No, I'm saying that what we're saying is Ghana, the music industry is not working for everybody who's talented. So for us to develop it, we need to be able to play people who are talented. You guys need to be able to spot the talent and play their music when they come to you. And when it comes to money, you have to find your way of making money through advertising, as DJs do, not from the artists. You have to make sure that things are in place just so the artists can make their money too. You know, and I don't know, all the protocol that needs to be put in place for artists to make their money. I know that's on you, I don't know. But all I'm saying is we have to help the industry get better.
Right.
Guys, not playing people because you're in a little club of male and it's all about the male and it's constant. Unless a female is doing a duet with a male artist, a lot of the songs don't get played, and which is ridiculous. So it has to be a duet with somebody big that you guys like, and then you play their songs. I'm saying that needs to change. That's all.
Wow. Thank you very much for making time with us on the spotlight.
Actually, Cassandra, I have one more question before we bring in Selassie.
Okay.
Because since we're talking Blackstar DJs worldwide, you know, one of our goal is to sort of build this network, worldwide network of Ghana DJs, and organize ourselves in a way to sort of put Ghana music or take Ghana music to the world, right? And so, as far as Ghana music going global, right? We've touched on pieces of, Ghana music not being able to cross over and all of that. What will be your recommendation as far as, how Ghana music can go global? What is your advice for the Ghana music industry or even the Ghanaian artists? What do you think is the formula? I think that's what is the formula for Ghana music being accepted worldwide?
Well, I think a lot of the things we present, and I think generally Ghana music is crossing over. One thing I'm happy about is but moving forward, I think we need to sometimes our presentation of our songs can be a little juvenile. There's no finesse in some of the songs that we present. And that all goes back to development, you see, and not cutting corners. Now, again, I understand that sometimes corners have to be cut because people don't have the funding. So really all boils down to having systems in place where artists can pull onto something that would help us present our work a little better. Now, maybe we should have government help for, musicians, maybe, people, I don't know how we spot talent. We have to get people who understand music to spot talent. Those a lot of idiots out there who really don't know much about music and then they claim to have this title, that we have to get the people who really understand music and spot some talent and hopefully help those ones out there. But generally, I just think that, we have to present our work a little better. We have to groom our artists a little better to sell us better. I think everybody goes on about the Nigerians moving far ahead from us. That's because they care about each other, and I think they put a lot of money into themselves. Wherever they find it, I don't know. But either way, they're just a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more better put out than we are. And so we have to work on that a little better. The presentation is everything. So if we work on the presentation, we'll be fine. And we have to stop labeling people. Like people like me, when we talk a lot, I know I talk a lot. I'm a mother, I can't help it. But it's not always about controversy. I don't open my mouth to be controversial. I open my mouth to say what I need to say. And they think I'm just being, difficult. But no, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to give. But I don't think I can do it as one person. Because Ghanaians are fighting it. They're fighting the truth. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Stephanie, for your time. But before we let you go, we've got one of our own, the Don Dada himself, also in the West Coast from the United States of America. I was the East Coast, right? Okay, he's got a very nice and wonderful question for you. I know you're going to enjoy this question. So I'll leave the ball rolling for Selassie to go ahead. Selassie, she's all ears.
I will take my clothes off. Is that what the question is?
Yeah.
Stephanie, I've just been glued behind the scenes, just glued on you. I love your passion. I love your openness, and I love your directness. I know Ghana seems to be a little bit on the conservative side. So when anybody comes out straight talking facts and truth, they seem to label you like you said. So I really feel you. But I wanted to just ask a little bit of on a lighter note. I pulled up a few of your videos online, and one of the ones that I've been watching, I've actually watched it about 6 times already, is the one you had with Samini. I think it's One More. You look absolutely stunning and beautiful. I was really surprised when you actually mentioned your age. So my question is, how do you keep yourself looking this beautiful each day, each hour? Is it like a workout routine and a diet or something? Because you seem to come out, epitomize what we say, black don't crack. You look like, how do you do it? What is your secret formula?
The thing is, there's no real secret though. The thing is, I've always been a workout freak in the sense and that I like to take care of myself the best I possibly can. And right from having children, I've always exercised. Straight after I have my children, I'm working out. I've always worked through, my children. I used to do a lot of shows and concerts and whatnot, pregnant, and I know that 4 days later, I have to be on stage. I remember I had my son 3 weeks, and I had to go and do a show for Prince Charles, and I had my son backstage crying, and while I was on stage performing for 1,100 people with Prince Charles and Harry and whatnot in the audience. And I remember Prince Charles asking for my son just so he could, keep him quiet because he was crying. So I've always worked, and I know that because I work, I have to snap back into shape. So it's just been a part of me. And I see people come and say, I want to be like you when I'm 50. And I look at them, I said, listen, you have to start now. If you look like me now, then fine. But don't say, you've never been to the gym, you injected a lot of fat into your ass, and your boobs are like, silicone, and you say you want to be like me. You're not going to be like me. You'll be going to the surgeon every 2 years to go and have the fat sucked out. Get into the gym and work out. I always say a lot to a lot of the young ladies and the artists as well. You become a better artist when you work out. Your body can take so much more. Exercise actually makes you happy, gives you happy hormones. So I always say work out. Happy hormones, you'll be smiling all the time. Instead of everybody's always pissed off in Ghana. Maybe I don't know why. Yes. I don't work out. You're happy.
Wow. This is really great. All right, so I've got Clickshot also wants to say something. So whilst we get Clickshot to get ready, I'm going to be asking you a question on this song that you did.
Yeah. Okay. Baby, let's do a 69. We can do it all day. I'll take you all day. I'll take you all day. Baby, let's do a 69. We can take you all day.
Okay. So my question is, have you got the strength to do 69 all day?
Hey!
Really?
Have you seen how strong I am? Do I?
Wow.
Wow.
69, it says, the thing is, me is, I'm a very, very openly sexual person. I don't fake it. It's just who I've always been. Right from the age of 20-something, all my videos have been very in your face. If I can find one of my old videos, I will put it out there. Trust me, I just can't find them. But I've always been that way. I think 2005, I have a video out there which I found. It's on YouTube. But yes, I think sex is like part of us. I don't know why we have such a problem with it. You know, and I wrote that song because of my husband. He had a hip operation, and he was making too many excuses to have sex. So I said, hey, Masa, but you me at the whole flat.
Wow.
Yeah, you definitely.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So, Clickshot, if you're ready, let's hear from you, Clickshot, before we let Stephanie go.
Hey, Steph, you're right. Madam. Okay, so my question was, it was somewhere around the same question Kwasanti just asked because I'm a social media person. So my question was going to be, what you put on your social media, especially Instagram, is it just you being, because somebody watching from afar who doesn't really know you, haven't had any experience coming closer to you, wouldn't know that that's you. But like, I'm asking, is that you being you, or you're just doing it just for the trends or just to stay on people's lips? Because some of the things that you put on there, oh la la.
Yeah, I'm always Leo. I don't even know how to be anybody else. I don't know how to put on an act. I don't know how to be different than what I am. Listen, what you're seeing is only a fraction of how stupid I can be. I am so like, you know, I see what comes into my head, and I just look into my eyes. You saw how my kids even wanted to kill me sometimes. When you came, it was amazing. I'm like, I don't know what possesses me. I'm telling you, I think my brain was not, I don't know who gave me, I don't know. It's like
Okay, so last question. What, after you post all that, what do your kids think? Like, have they even tried to take you off social media, or have they like, because one video that you posted the other time, your son was saying something about his friends crashing on you. So I'm thinking it might be embarrassing to him. Do you not find that, like, do you not think you should slow down a bit?
Ain't it, Cameron? Cameron, when I post one more out, I showed him the video, because I showed him the video at home first. First he was embarrassed, and he called me and he said, Mom, you know, have you put the link on YouTube? Because I want to show my friends. No, I didn't. They like that kind of stuff. They think I'm crazy, because the thing is, I'm not as crazy on social media as I am in real life. You guys think I'm crazy, but you know. So I think when they see it, they just think, oh God, it's mom being mom. But I remember when my daughter found her first boyfriend, and I put that post out about small bowls. You know, like men with small bowls, don't you? The first thing my daughter did when she had her sexual intercourse with this guy, she called me and says, Mom, he's got small balls. Does that mean you won't cheat? I said, yeah, he's a keeper.
Wow.
All right.
My boyfriend has got big balls, so yeah, I don't like him very much. He's Nigerian as well.
Okay, that's my question. That's it. Last one. When are we having the next photo shoot? All right, let's talk behind closed doors.
I haven't had a photo shoot in over a year. It's really bad. So yeah,
right.
When can we do it? Let's do it when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready. All right, that's why another conversation. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us for tonight's show, the Spotlight. And I believe we should really.
And Big Joe's got big balls. He's not a keeper.
Oh,
Big Joe's got big balls, isn't it? I never knew this.
Big Joe, where you at?
Big Joe, where you are? Let me see your face.
Run away.
Oh.
I am Mr.
Well, probably when I was younger, but probably it's shrink, you know, to fix it.
You know, I'm going to give you a tax here. I beg, since Big Joe is your brother, the next time you see him, please check it for me. I want to see how small it's become.
I'll bring it down with my judo skills.
I think what I would like to say is thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us. We really appreciate you. Blackstar DJs to the world. We really appreciate you, Stephanie. So I will hand it to Kwasanti. I think my question probably, I had some questions, but Kwasanti actually asked it. So I'm okay now. I don't have any questions now. So I'll hand it over to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe. Oh, Stephanie, at this point, we would like to bring the whole conversation to an end. And I'd like to say a very big thank you to you for spending your time with us. We were supposed to do this for 1 hour, but it got so excited that we've gone beyond what we expected to do. So I would like to say a very big thank you, and also to the family for allowing you this time to spend with us. And we are so grateful. And we know if anything comes up, we'll definitely call on you. And we've also taken your advice. We will definitely do what you want us to do to help young and upcoming artists, and also to do our best to make sure the music industry has a level playing field for everyone who wants to be in there. So I'd like to say a very big thank you. I don't know if other question wants to say something.
Yes, absolutely. I also want to say big thank you, Stephanie. I really admire your passion. You seem like you've gotten very comfortable with who you are, and do not shy away from flaunting your sensuality and celebrating your artistry and all that. And I think that is a beautiful thing. That is, I think, every artist's ultimate dream, to really get to the point where they really know who they are. And so, we know you're very busy. Thank you for taking time to, speak with us on the Blackstar DJ Spotlight Show, the very first one with Stephanie. Amazing stuff. And we look forward to working with you more, or at least with your girls too. Thanks so much.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.